Welcome back to Talking Classrooms, where we explore tough questions in education with clarity and courage. I'm your host, Bulelani Marwanqana. Today, we are tackling a deeply controversial and critical issue, the necessity of corporal punishment and the tension between parents, the education system, and teachers when it comes to disciplining children. Recently in KwaZulu-Natal, a teacher was suspended after a video surfaced showing corporal punishment in a classroom. The Department of Education condemned the practice, citing the Basic Education Laws Amendment Act, which is the Bella Act, and asserting that corporal punishment has no place in our school. That decision raises essential questions like what happens when discipline is stripped away from teachers, when parents abdicate their role, and when the system fails to provide alternatives. Today, I will argue controversially for the responsible use of corporal punishment as a vital tool for raising a disciplined generation. Let's frame the context first. Corporal punishment was formally banned in South African schools in 1996 and forced through the abolition of Corporal Punishment Act and reinforced through legal judgments like S.V. Williams 1995 and the educational regulations. But reality diverges from the law. Reports show that provinces like KZN, nearly 1 in 5 pupils, which is 19.1%, still report being beaten by a teacher. This shows that despite the law, corporal punishment continues. This is not just tradition, no, it's a lived practice. Other voices call this a violation of children's rights, but the institutions supporting educators to manage discipline without such tools remain weak or absent. The result is frequent conflict. Are we sacrificing discipline tools without providing acceptable alternatives? Let's break down the triangle of responsibility. Many parents insist that teachers enforce boundaries, yet may themselves struggle with discipline at home. They demand order but resist firm terms of discipline. Teachers are expected to maintain discipline without tools and face suspension if discipline causes discomfort. In KZN, a teacher was suspended for precisely that reason. Systems are legally prohibiting corporal punishment but does not equip teachers with alternatives like training in positive discipline or meaningful support system for disruptive behavior. So the imbalance leaves the teachers powerless, blamed by both parents and policymakers, while students face an inconsistent environment. This is where I make a controversial argument. Responsible use of corporal punishment applied with restraint can act as a clear boundary for children, especially when other forms of discipline fail. It's blunt, yes, but often it is effective, especially in high-risk environments. Research acknowledges drawbacks but doesn't always consider cultural or environmental contexts. In a nation where violence spills into classrooms, can we afford to discard every tool that enforces respect? Discipline helps build that order. We have heard some people say, I grew up fine with corporal punishment. That sentiment may indicate that when used correctly, of course, it fosters respect, structure, and accountability, especially for those who have otherwise known little of boundaries. We mustn't ignore the positive disciplines that support a child's development, such as counseling, restorative justice, mentorship, or positive reinforcement. But without systemic support, these remain aspirational. So, moreover, violent environments outside of schools, gang culture, broken homes, poor discipline bring a higher baseline of disorder into classrooms. Yet schools are left under-resourced and unsupported. Teachers need practical tools to restore order, not just training manuals and student codes. Right now, we have policy without practice and expectation without empowerment. Let me outline a middle path, one that upholds boundaries while aligning with children's rights. Number 1, provide practical training in positive discipline, but also acknowledge the cultural context, leaving space for controlled physical boundaries where absolutely necessary. Number 2, foster parent-teacher collaboration, ensuring consistent discipline at home and at school. Number 3, create tiered responses, warnings, detentions, community service, counseling, and as a very last resort, mild physical correction with reporting and oversight. Number 4, support teachers, legally and professionally, so enforcing discipline doesn't lead to fear of suspension. This isn't about restoring brutality, no, but ensuring that discipline can meaningfully teach respect, understanding consequences, and personal responsibility. Let me ask you to reflect now. Have you allowed the pendulum to swing so far that no form of discipline, including mild, controlled correction, is considered valid? Is our drive to protect children from harm unintentionally making them vulnerable to chaos and disrespect? I conclude with this. We must embrace comprehensive, culturally sensitive approaches to discipline, rooted in law, human rights, and practicality. But until our classrooms and homes have consistent boundaries, we cannot pretend that not all tools are tools. Thank you for listening to this challenging conversation on Talking Classrooms. I'm Bulelani Marwanqana. Until next time, let's keep talking classrooms.